p.m. Thank you all for coming. I want to introduce Barry Joseph to say a few words. Here you go.
Thank you, Alex. Alex, I can't imagine a better partner on a project like this. Please get up for Alex. And the entire Gomberg family. Scholar. Where's Kenny? Where's Kenny? He's right there. Kenny, his dad. Without him, none of us would be here. And his family, the multiple generations, and their wives who are here. Anyone kids? No kids here right today, right?
No kids. No kids.
It's amazing to work with a family like that. I am Barry Joseph. We are so thrilled and excited that you're all here today as we kick off not only a national celebration of National Egg Cream Day, thanks to this man over here, but the beginning of Brooklyn Seltzer Fest this year, 2025. Tonight, give it up, Take the applause. Tonight is just a moment to thank all of you. This is the night for everyone to come together, be in the space that this event tomorrow is all about, and for us to get a chance to meet each other, not have to focus on the booth that we're running, on the competition that we're competing in, the people that we're judging, the information about our company, because we're a sponsor. This is a time just to be with each other. I want to thank all those people, as a group, all the exhibitors, who have come up with the most creative, innovative ideas beyond what Alex and I could ever have envisioned for tomorrow. The people who have traveled far and wide, some from Brooklyn, some from Los Angeles, some from Canada, some from Florida, to compete in the Egg Cream Invitational, to have their seltzers compete with the other seltzers, or to be the judges, or to be the MCs. The people who have come in as sponsors. We have at the bronze level, the Museum of Jewish Heritage, Peter Pan, yes, give it up. And just keep clapping. Peter Pan Donuts, Giuliana's Pizza, Utz, you know, their pretzels at the Museum of Broadway. We have at the silver siphon level, Brooklyn Seltzer Boys, of course. L&S Packing, the makers of You Bet Syrup. The Neighborhood, That Funny Agency, and the Worker Circle. And finally, we have our single gold siphon level sponsor. When Alex and I started talking in January about what it would take to bring an event that we had done in this space last year, where, as far back as people are standing here, imagine those being seats all the way up to that sign, the 2024 National Egg Cream Invitational. That was an event that sold out in hours and filled this space with about maybe 75 people. And when we were trying to figure out what we could do this year to make it big, we just didn't know if it was too much of a financial risk. We knew we couldn't do it in here. We needed to pay for a bigger space. And Industry City, the space we're going to be at tomorrow, if you haven't been, when you see it, you'll know it was perfect. We had to be there, but we didn't know if we could afford it. We had no idea if anyone was going to come. We were hoping maybe 200 people, 300 would be great. If you haven't heard yet, on Friday, we sold it out with 600 tickets. Woo! But we never would have taken that risk without our lead supporter. Without someone who was saying, we want to back you, we think this is a great idea, we want to help you make it happen. And that support is what allowed it to happen. So what I'd like to do, you go first, right? Yeah. So what I'd like to do is introduce them to you through a video, and then I'm going to introduce their co-president, who will say a few words. I'm proud that the next time you go to the Brooklyn Seltzer Museum website, you're going to see it on the Shopline platform. Woo! So with that, let me introduce and say a few words. Shopline's co-president, Chris Yang.
Thank you for the great intro, and let me just add a bit of human touch to, in addition to the video. Very, very proud to be here and be able to sponsor the SeltzerFest and the competition that's coming up. As you know, probably haven't heard of Shopline as a name, but we've actually been around for about 11 years now, being one of the most dominant e-commerce platform worldwide.
We were able to be fortunate enough to meet Chris because of the individual standing to my left. Jared, I don't think I can introduce you.
All right.
Because I think
you're
going to... Not that I won't introduce you. But Jared has a very particular connection with the space where we're standing and with this industry. And I want to leave it to him to explain that connection.
The first time that I realized my uncle Elkie was somebody special was when he took me to a Mets game and paid the guy off to get us into the bottom row seats and said, I know everybody here, don't worry about it. I said, Uncle Lucky, what do you do? He goes, Jared, I'm a seltzer man. If you don't know, I'm talking about Eli Miller. One of the original or last seltzer men. He was just my uncle. He was the only kind of grandfather guy I had. And he taught me everything about baseball and politics that I'll never agree with. You know, about how to make the perfect egg cream and how to make people very angry at you when you say things out loud. But he was the most loving, generous community person I've ever met in my life. There was something about him, the way he talked to people, that was, he penetrated your soul. He talked into your eyes. He looked at you as if you were the most important person in the room. And he did this with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. When I started That Funny Agency, which is a creative digital marketing agency, holistic marketing, he was very proud of my sort of trajectory because he wanted me to be a Jewish doctor, like everyone. I was not. I went on to be an actor and a waiter in New York City, and he was not very happy with me. But I told him that this is my path, and my path led me to being a marketer, and I loved working with everyone, and I liked storytelling, and I liked to look in their eyes and tell me what it is that makes your business even better. I worked in an amazing place where a colleague of Chris and I worked, and I said, where are you now? Why are you at, what's this Shopline thing? She goes, I gotta tell you all about it. Next thing I knew, Chris and I are on calls, and I said, we're gonna make sure everyone knows how important Shopline is. It's e-commerce for the rest of us. Also, we're never gonna have Kanye on this platform, so just so we're clear. This is the platform for small business to grow, finally, in a world that is about social media, that is about where your audiences are on so many different levels. It gets holistic marketing from the get-go, and it gets small brands. The co-president is here. He's here because he understands what it means to be with a community that is as strong and as powerful as my uncle always told me it was. And I just thank you so much. And I thank you so much for coming to me and saying, hey, you want to honor your uncle? And I said, hey, you want to build a website? How about you? Yeah. Thank you guys, and thank you so much. And we have a little video that we made, courtesy of some of your footage, for my uncle, so you can learn a little bit about him.
Thank you, Jared. And he's actually been quite humble. We're not only showing you a short video about Eli, they've sponsored the Spirit of Eli Award, the Eli, which we'll be giving out for the first time tomorrow. It's an award that we'll be able to give out from the museum to someone in our community who's continuing these old seltzer traditions and the values that Jared was talking about. So we're going to show you the video right now that was produced to introduce people to Eli. Local business here, we're not just a small business, we're also a museum. We're part of the cultural fabric of the city. And we would be remiss if we weren't recognizing that while we're having this remarkable outpouring of support today and tomorrow, there is a federal assault right now on places like ours, on museums. And if you didn't hear, there's an organization that is so important to us in our space. It's called the Institute for Museum and Library Services. They support museums. Who here has been to a museum in the last year? Who knows someone who's been to a library? They all got funds from IMLS. When we as a museum had to decide what does it look like for us to become not just a place that people come to, but a museum, we looked to their standards that they set for what is a museum, and we aspired to be someone who could potentially get funds for them someday. But if you didn't hear, on Friday night, our federal administration did everything they could to start shutting them down and firing that slice of the federal workforce. So for that reason, it's especially important for me to be able to recognize that we are currently in a local administration that recognizes the importance of museums, and we can recognize that through, in the next moment, as I can pass the mic over to our city's Commissioner of Cultural Affairs. Laurie Cumbo, thank you so much for coming.
I don't think I'll try that.
Nice.
Well, thank you. Good evening, Brooklyn. How are y'all doing tonight? Right? This is so exciting. So I grew up in the East Flatbush, Canarsie section of Brooklyn. So as a little girl, without knowing I knew him, Frank Sedio. And Frank calls me last week and he says, Laurie, what are you doing? What are you doing on Saturday? What are you doing Saturday night? And I was like, I guess nothing, Frank. And he's like, I want you to come to the Seltzer Museum. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, the Seltzer, okay, all right, Saturday night. But in my mind, I'm like, what did he say? And then he was like, you like seltzer? I was like what? And he was like, Seltzer, the Seltzer Museum. And I was like, we're gonna have a Seltzer Museum? Like, I gotta come and see this. Like, this is something that I have never seen before. And I go to museums all day, every day, Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday, but I'd never seen or heard of a Seltzer Museum. It wasn't until I walked through these doors did I totally get it. Did I roll up here and see this incredible space right in the heart of the community? And that's something that we are committed to in this administration, is making sure that there are world-class, state-of-the-art spaces in every single neighborhood. Every neighborhood deserves to have world-class, state-of-the-art institutions in their own backyard. And so I was really excited. I wanted to bring my son Prince, who's videotaping me. Because what's really exciting about New York City, what's super exciting about New York City is that it's our role and job to find out what our children are excited about. And it's only in New York City where they can go to the American Museum of Natural History, or they can come right here to Brooklyn and they can create their own new formula for seltzer that the world has never seen before. Whatever their mind can think of, New York City can deliver it. So I'm really proud of this museum. I'm really proud of you all starting this at a really challenging time, but with what I've seen here, the love that's in this room, any idea that starts with this much love and homegrown support has to win. So I'm really excited about it. It's only in Brooklyn, New York, where we will have a hot dog eating contest. We'll have the best pizza eating contest. We're gonna have the juniors cheesecake. We're gonna even make a parade for something that doesn't exist, like a mermaid. Like, we will do it all in New York City. And the Brooklyn Seltzer Museum has to be a part of that incredible dynamic. I hear you're going to be doing tomorrow an egg cream invitational. Like, only in Brooklyn, New York could that happen, that we're going to have an egg cream invitational. And before you know it, the whole world will be here to sample, to taste, to create. It's going to be a phenomena that we are starting here in Brooklyn. So I'm really excited about it. What I wanted to do in coming here today, I wanted to add the fashion component to it. So when they said seltzer, I said I'm going to embody my greatest seltzer outfit that I can possibly think of. Was thinking about bubbly. Was thinking about. I wanted to. You got it right there. I wanted to be busy. At first I put on the top and I said, I'm gonna put on black pants. Then I said, I'm gonna put on little black pants with some rhinestones. Then I said, I'm gonna put on my black shoes. Then I said, no, that's too much. So then I said, I'm gonna put on my rhinestone shoes. Like, you can never overdo yourself in New York City. So soon people will be coming in their greatest busy outfits. Like, that's gonna be a part of it. We started something very special here. And we're going to continue to make sure that it grows and that it evolves. And the love that I saw on that video and the tears that I saw of love and joy, that is the secret sauce and ingredient or recipe to really making sure that something happens from a loved place. So I'm excited to be a part of this journey with you. Thank you so much for inviting me. I thank you for inviting me and including me to be a part of your family. And Frank, thank you so much for the invitation. And I look forward to growing with you and having the best egg cream invitational that the world has ever known. Thank you.
So you've all been so patient while we've been up here talking. Let's get back to why you came, which is to talk to each other, drink some seltzer, have some egg creams over here, enjoy the museum over here, and go over here if you haven't had a chance yet, and spritz the seltzer siphon at a loved one. Thank you all so much, and have a good rest of your evening.